Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I've changed my mind. The Golden Bachelorette's Joan probably feels pressure to move to Wichita after meeting Chock's friends. Is that what she really wants? The Golden Bachelorette star Joan Vassos recently met up with Chock Chapel's pals in his hometown, Wichita, and the get-together seemed to go well. However, the fact that Chock keeps pulling Joan into his Kansas lifestyle may make her feel like she needs to move there for him. Chock's a dream man. His grooming is so good that the famous New York apothecary Kiehl's sent him a bunch of skincare products, which he applied while his Instagram followers watched. He's a great representative for that brand. Chock's also well-dressed, polite, humble, and successful. I always had a good feeling about this guy, like he's the salt of the earth. I just feel like she chose very well, and I haven't changed my mind. The thing is, Chock is actually an earth sign. He's a Virgo. In fact, Chock probably doesn't want to budge, preferring Wichita life over anything else. Earth signs don't always enjoy change. In general, routine comforts them. That's probably why he recently complained about all the traveling he's been doing. A lot of women might jump at the chance to move in with a wealthy guy who owns a couple of fancy homes, one of which has a special outbuilding, a man cave with a mezzanine. However, Joan's been quite hesitant. This isn't to say that they shouldn't be equals. I actually think the feeling of being equals is the most important thing in a relationship. Above, the king of Wichita treats his love like a bona fide queen, showing the world how proud he is to be by her side, as per Joan's Instagram. People don't need to have the same amount of money or the same level of success, but they need to feel like they're the same, that one isn't superior to the other. So Joan's needs matter too. But Chock may secretly want Joan to move to the city he loves so much. In fact, when he brought her to meet so many people, it was almost like he was selling Wichita, just like he sells insurance. You better believe Chock can sell. But is it enough to convince Joan that Kansas should be her full-time base? Maybe not. The thing is, Joan's got a lot of memories in Rockville, Maryland, as well as relatives that she loves, including her adult children. Joan's been through terrible pain, losing her husband, Joan Vassos, to cancer. It was traumatic for her, and the ghosts of the past still haunt her. It's only been 4 years. Of course, she hasn't let John go. He's still there in her heart and mind, and probably always will be. Maybe, just maybe, she feels like leaving her hometown would be a betrayal of a long and beautiful history with someone else. A man who was cruelly taken from her. While I believe she loves Chock, I've seen her snap at him, just little things like criticizing how he put garlic cloves in a piece of meat. Recently, Joan took him out to shop for clothes, and the stuff he put on to please her didn't really seem like his style. In fact, he said he never envisioned himself wearing anything like that. When one partner wants to change the other, even in small ways, I personally consider it a red flag. However, to be fair, these things were very minor. Everyone corrects a partner now and then. Women push men to buy certain clothes all the time, and men do the same with women. The root issue is that Joan may not be totally ready to cave in to the pressure to live with Chock in Wichita, although he won't move for her. It's an impasse. They need to travel a lot to manage this stalemate. Both are too stubborn to change their ways. A lot is said about Chock's love of his hometown. He touts the city, talking about Wichita's warm, friendly people, and just how livable the place is. However, the Golden Bachelorette's Joan Vassos, while less demonstrative, may feel the very same about Rockville. However, as a sensitive woman, she may not say certain things, such as how much the city reminds her of the life she used to have with John. This is all speculation, but Joan's pain over losing her husband is very close to the surface. I can see it in her eyes. It is 1% sincere. She really loved that man, just like she loves Chock. For her, a decision to leave one city for another may feel like pure pressure. She may push Chock to continue their tale of 2 cities and seek out a love nest in a third. New York City. That's pressure too. The travel gets on his nerves, just like he got on Joan's nerves when he didn't insert the garlic cloves correctly. So the problem here is like that mantra in real estate. Location, location, location. Both cities have their charm. However, with Chock, it seems like his love of Wichita may eventually trigger some issues between them. It seems like his dream would really be carrying Joan over the threshold in Wichita and staying there with her. It definitely seems like a place he doesn't like leaving. Travel may irritate him more over time. This sensible and charming man is devoted. He wooed her in such an appealing and down-home way, making her his signature recipe, chock a noodle soup. In Wichita, he'd surely treat her like a queen. He already fixed her closet, helping her out when there was a problem with her shelf. However, when the shelf initially fell, the first person she thought of was her late husband. She felt he was giving her a sign. Emotions are complicated. They move through space and time. There's a sense of time travel with memories. I can, if I want to, step back into the past, and it's so real, like it happened yesterday, even when it was years ago. Usually, I don't like living in the past, but Joan may long for it sometimes. That's probably one good reason why the whole Wichita thing may make the Golden Bachelorette's Joan wonder exactly what she should do and how far she wants to go for love. Joan Vassos embarked on her journey as the first ever Golden Bachelorette with the promise of finding love later in life on her own terms. But now, as hometowns loom over her, she's beginning to wonder, are those terms still hers, or are they being subtly rewritten? One man in particular has thrown her into emotional turmoil, Chock Chapel. The charming, soft-spoken retired pilot has consistently been a steady and comforting presence throughout the season. But something about their visit to his hometown of Wichita, Kansas, has left Joan feeling unsettled. And it's not just the small-town charm or the smell of barbecue wafting through the air. It's the people, his people. Chock's friends welcomed Joan with open arms, treating her like she was already one of them. They shared stories of how Chock had spent years looking for the right person, how they had never seen him as happy as he was now, how they had all but decided she was the one. Every handshake, every warm smile, every eager glance seemed to carry the unspoken expectation that this wasn't just a visit. It was the beginning of something permanent. Joan, ever the gracious guest, played along, laughing at stories of Chock's youthful antics, thanking his friends for their kind words, and genuinely enjoying the warmth of their company. But somewhere between the third round of homemade cobbler and the third glass of wine, the weight of the situation began to settle in. Was this what she really wanted? When she signed up for the Golden Bachelorette, she had envisioned an adventure, something new, something thrilling, a chance to find love without having to give up the life she had already built. And yet, sitting in Chock's cozy, familiar world, she felt a different kind of pull, one that whispered of stability, comfort, and roots, things she had once cherished, but had also fought hard to reclaim after her late husband's passing. As the night wore on, the questions in Joan's mind grew louder. Could she see herself in Wichita, a place so different from her home in Maryland? Could she be happy in a town where everyone already seemed to know her life's trajectory before she had even decided it for herself? And, most importantly, was Chock the kind of man who would follow her instead of expecting her to follow him? The next morning, Joan found herself alone with Chock on his back porch, the sun casting golden hues over the Kansas plains. It was picturesque, peaceful, everything she had never quite let herself dream of. Chock, ever intuitive, seemed to sense her internal battle. "You're thinking pretty hard over there," he said, sipping his coffee. Joan hesitated before answering. "Your friends are wonderful. I can see why you love it here." He smiled, but there was a knowing look in his eyes. "But," she sighed, setting her cup down, "but I don't know if I can picture myself here forever." Chock was quiet for a long moment before finally speaking. "I get it. Wichita is my home, but that doesn't mean it has to be yours. The important thing is figuring out where we, together, can be happy." It was the first time anyone had put it in those terms, and Joan felt a flicker of relief. Maybe the pressure she had been feeling was less about where she was supposed to be and more about allowing herself to acknowledge what she truly wanted.